So you built the business, but now you lost yourself. Hey, I'm Mike Sorgiovanni, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you something so important that so many business owners and high performers do in life, and even just people in general, where they tend to build something really good, but bit by bit, they lose the thing that they love, and also they lose themselves in the process. In the last decade, I've helped a countless amount of people really help identify what they're doing to destruct and self-destruct their own lives, and help them bring back themselves into their bodies, into their lives, so they can create the life that they love to live. And how do we really lose ourselves? And I guess, who are we is more important. Now, I'm going to talk about business, right? And I'm also going to talk about relationships, because I believe they become hand in hand when we talk about this topic. When we first get into a relationship, right? And whether that relationship is a relationship with our business or whether that's relationships with a person, we become really infatuated with the idea, meaning that we're really excited. Everything's amazing. Get blinded by, we don't see all the negatives that are there, all the red flags that are there. Meaning red flags of, geez, I didn't realize how hard this was going to be. And I guarantee, I reckon, not many business owners wouldn't say that, right? So business is like it's like getting into a boxing ring daily, and sometimes you get some hits in, and sometimes you take some hits. So it is a constant battle of changing and maneuvering, and sometimes they can feel like in a relationship too. And when we hop into this, we become really, really excited, really infatuated, right? And those red flags we're not aware of, and then when they come out after, we may get surprised. Now, what tends to happen in business and relationship is we end up entering a certain person. We may see friends, we may see family, we may socialize in a certain way. There are so many things that make up us as an individual before we hop into that, whether into the business or the relationship. And what happens bit by bit, right? And they're called our values. And when I say values, I don't mean idealisms, I mean more so intrinsic priorities. They're who we are, they're what we do, how we think, how we act, all programmed in the background that cause us, our behavior to be demonstrated from that level. And what tends to happen when we're in a relationship or a business is when things get challenging, when we get challenged, we tend to hand in some of these values, right? To save the business, to save the relationship. So an example of this, like if I'm in an intimate relationship, right? And one of the things I always did was see my family all the time, or I went fishing. And in my relationship, there's some conflict and my partner's not happy. Like I could make the decision and be like, you know what, I'm going to stop the fishing now because it'll bring more time for us to connect. But what we're not realizing is we're giving away something that made us the person we were that entered there. Another example in business, things could be busy and they get busier and they get busier and they get busier. And I got to stop doing the fishing now. I got to stop doing that activity because I need to put my focus here. And I give away that part of myself. And what happens is that can go on. And I give away another part of myself. And I give away another part of myself. And I give away another part of myself. And then what happens is you become a different person within this context. You become a different partner, a different person within the relationship. You become a different person within the business. And in the relationship, you can be rejected. You can be rejected because now, like, who are you? You're not the person you once were. And what can happen to you is you can resent who you are in that relationship now. Because you lost parts of yourself and you gave them away, now it's like, who am I now? So therefore you resent yourself in the relationship, and you can tend to sabotage a relationship because the way you feel and the position you're in. In a business setting, the same thing can happen. And the same thing can happen is if I've given away all the parts of myself, right, in a business, and now I've got a CEO that's hopped in, I've got employees that are doing things, when they all step aside, it's like, who am I? I don't know who I am anymore, because the process to get here, I gave everything away. And the important thing to understand is with this, values are not taken. I know that for a lot of people that may be hard to accept. You don't go into a relationship and the partner took these things away from you. You don't go into a business and the business took these things away from you. Values are given. So at some point you decided that I'm going to stop this and I'm going to give this away to pursue this. And that part was you giving away part of your identity. Now, I guess it's not an all black and white answer that you'll definitely lose yourself if you do that. Sometimes there can be a transfer in values, a transformation, an evolution in values. Things can change over time. You can think about, I'm going to stop hanging out with the guys and drinking and I'm going to put my mind into business. That's a positive thing. It doesn't have to be necessarily a negative thing. However, if you're not aware of these things happen bit by bit, you'll lose the things that gave you the feeling to be present within yourself. And bit by bit, you can feel lost. So what do we do if we end up in this scenario? The best thing to do in this scenario is, number one, work out what your values are right now. Like, what are the things that you enjoy doing? And if you can't work out the things you enjoy doing, what are the things you constantly think about? What are the things you constantly worry about? And if the business going down is the biggest worry, or the relationship trying to save it is the biggest worry, then we start there. And what we start with, okay, it sounds like there's something here to work on, a mindset to work on. So how do you kind of work on yourself now to lower down those negative thought patterns? How do you put some routines in your life that you can get back to it? Maybe you used to train, maybe you used to exercise. Get back to that. Do a little bit of that to get yourself back and get some momentum. Maybe it's to go fishing. Maybe go out and do some fishing. Not to put it into routine to go fishing all the time, but you could use that to create space. When you're stuck in a pattern, right, where you're losing yourself, you can get so caught up that you're in an emotional turmoil that you feel like your cup's full because you're dealing with so much stress. So the most important thing would be in that is when you do those activities, you create space for yourself to think. Space for yourself to put a plan in place, space for yourself to do something different. Otherwise, if you're just running, going, feeling lost is like just a cycle that you're living in, that you wake up and go to sleep. So your values are your identity, getting back to who you are and holding them. And you want the business to complement your values. You want the relationship to empower you to be in your values. And you want to empower your relationship and the person to be in their values. You want the business, you to complement and empower the business to fulfill its mission. Everybody's here is to fulfill their own destiny, and their own destiny and purpose is of people living truly in their own intrinsic priorities. Thank you for listening. If you found value in this video, share it with someone or leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.